part 2, and I'm trying to be more concise, but I really was like into the explanation stuff, and we're now covering the circulatory system. This is Selma, and I'm just trying to help. Okay, that's the circulatory system. Let's see. One thing that is very prominent in the circulatory system is the aorta. You can just see. If I want to like draw somewhere that is free, where should I draw? Wait a moment. We can draw here. So if we like increase that part a little bit, it went down a little bit. Consider that an empty page. So what you are gonna basically see either two colors. It's either the pinkish one, not reddish, and that color that is brown. Brown is by or seen, by the way. So and you're gonna see like several lines here above each other. They're like zigzag lines. What are those? These are the elastic fibers. So the aorta is very prominent with the elastic fibers of it, and you're gonna be easily you can easily identify it. Sorry. So you're gonna see like several elastic fibers that I cannot basically draw with a mouse. So mouse, yeah. Consider me like I didn't do anything. I'm sorry. I cannot draw. Okay, let's return back to our page. What is that? That's the aorta. Isn't there another slide? Yeah, that's it. That's the slide. So what is that? That's the aorta, because we have several elastic fibers that are arranged parallelly above each other. Okay, so these are the elastic fibers. Okay, elastic fibers above each other. Elastic fibers above each other, and you can see here that's the tunica intima, which basically looks into the lumen, and what surrounds the lumen is the endothelium. But basically tunica intima, tunica media, and then downwards that's the adventitia. So again, that's tunica intima. Stop. Okay, tunica intima, that's that teeny tiny part. Oh, it's brown. That's the media. And the line already separates the adventitia. The tunica media in the aorta is pretty much prominent and apparent with the elastic fibers. It will differ in a medium-sized artery and vein. And I want you to be smart as hell now and answer me. What is very not prominent in the aorta, although it's present? Oh, what's that? Oh, that's the internal elastic lamina. You know, the internal elastic lamina is not prominent here, but it's present because we cannot see it from the elastic fibers. Okay, the elastic lamina wouldn't be able to be seen from the elastic fibers, okay, because it's also elastic. So you cannot basically see the internal elastic lamina, but it's present, but it's not like clear, okay. So yeah, that's the tunica intima, media, and adventitia. These are some elastic fibers that are arranged parallelly. You can write tunica intima or endothelium, it doesn't matter. Okay, again, aorta. Well, how do we know it? There are several elastic fibers. Okay, so that's the tunica intima or the endothelium, doesn't matter. That's the adventitia, here, the one here. What's between them? There are several elastic fibers above each other. That's the tunica media, and it's very apparent with the smooth muscle. I forgot telling you that we have something very apparent in the tunica adventitia that is called the vasa vasorum. That one. There's some blood vessels and giving nutrients to some blood vessels. Okay, so that's the tunica media, the one that I traversed. That's the adventitia. The one above is the tunica intima. Let's go. What is that? Oh, we don't think much. Several elastic fibers arranged parallelly above each other. They're zigzagging condensed in a seat of fluid. Oh, that's the aorta. Again, several elastic fibers that are arranged above each other. Of course, the tunica media has smooth muscles, but it's the one that is more apparent are the elastic fibers. Okay, so that's the tunica media. It has a lot of elastic fibers here. Smooth muscles as well. As you can see, that one's very prominent. Okay, but what's most apparent, because I can see here a smooth muscle. Here's another smooth muscle. But what would be so apparent, so relatively commenting about it, is the elastic fibers. So we have several elastic fibers. That's the tunica. That's the in the tunica media. So that's the aorta. tunica intima, and here's the adventitia. This is how I memorize it. When I see several elastic fibers, I don't think much. That's the aorta. Did I forget a slide? It's here telling you that in the adventitia you have something called the vasa vasorum. That's the vasa vasorum. That's easy. Okay. Now I said that it's brown, and since it's brown, we want to see the elastic fibers. Okay, so we gotta like dye it with orcine, so it's like stained brown. So that's the elastic fibers above each other. So that's the tunica media, that's the tunica intima, and that's the adventitia. It's very prominent with the vasa vasorum. We're like saying the same things again. So here we're changing. We can see easily the medium size and the medium sized artery, the internal elastic lamina. So if you see any zigzag, not zigzag, a curved line that is going like this, basically, this is definitely a medium sized artery. I hope I can draw a straight line. Not that straight, but okay. That's the medium sized artery. Okay, so here we can see the internal elastic lamina. That's the medium sized artery. There's no much elastic fibers here, but there are. But what's most prominent is the smooth muscles. And the tunica media, of course, is the widest layer or the thickest layer because it has a lot of smooth muscles in it. So that's the medium sized artery. Tunica intima, internal elastic lamina, and of course it's still the intima. And that's the media. And that's the adventitia, which still has vasa vasorum. Okay, again, the medium-sized vein has no internal elastic lamina, and it has a very big adventitia. So the vein has a big adventitia. The artery has a big media. Okay, well, whatsoever, big vein, small vein. That's something that is an important concept. Write that down. That the vein has a big adventitia, a thick adventitia whatsoever, and then artery has a big media or a thick media. I just try to say simple words so you can easily memorize it. So that's a vein because there's no internal elastic lamina and the adventitia is huge. Okay, so that's the endothelium, tunica intima, and that's the media, of course, and that's the adventitia, the hugest one. Okay, how do I identify? That's a medium-sized artery. How do we know? That's an internal elastic lamina. Okay, that's the media, has a lot of smooth muscles. And here's the adventitia, medium-sized artery. So tunica media, tunica intima, media and adventitia intima, media and adventitia. And of course some sort of narrow lumen. So 1 is the tunica media, 2 is the tunica adventitia, and what's that number? Of course it's 3, but it's not written, is it? So yeah, that's the internal elastic membrane. Again, internal elastic membrane or internal elastic lamina, that's genuinely an artery. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, that's a membrane. I'm sorry, the internal elastic lamina. That's the media, and that's the adventitia. Okay, we're saying the same things again. The best thing about the cardiovascular that is so easily to be memorized. So that's tunica media, the one I'm traversing. Tunica intima, you can say endothelium. Tunica adventitia, let's go. Again, the same thing again. Endothelium or tunica intima, internal elastic lamina, media, has a lot of smooth muscles. If he made an arrow here, say that's the nucleus of a smooth muscle, and that's the adventitia. Okay, can I see here an internal elastic membrane? No, but I see a very wide lumen. Okay, so that's basically a vein, and since it's a vein, that's a medium-sized vein, of course. So basically, that it has a huge adventitia. That's the biggest layer, and a very teeny tiny endothelium or tunica intima, and that's the media. Has some sort of smooth muscles, but not a lot. So that's the tunica intima, media, adventitia, and a wide lumen. That's a medium-sized vein. This is how I basically memorize it. That's a medium-sized vein. Of course, I want to go down. You let me go down easily. Now we're comparing between both the artery and the vein. So internal elastic lamina means we're medium-sized artery. Okay, so that's the endothelium or tunica intima, and that's the media, and that's the adventitia. And now it's easy. That's the tunica intima, and that's the media, and a huge adventitia, so we're a vein. Even has vasa vasorum in here. And here's some sort of vasa vasorum here. No, it's not appearing in that picture. Okay, so that's Okay, how do we again? If we ever saw an internal elastic membrane, don't think twice. That's the medium-sized artery. Okay, and then media, and then the adventitia. What is that? Oh, I can see a wide lumen. You see that diameter? Oh, and a narrow lumen. Oh, this is small diameter. So what is that? That's an artery and that's the vein. How to identify? Oh, I can see that. Internal elastic lamina. So that's the medium-sized artery. Okay, and then the media is huge. And then the adventitia, some sort of okay. But here we have a huge adventitia. Okay, and some sort of normal tunica media and small tunica intima. That's the vein. So that's the vein, and that's the artery. The artery is very prominent with the internal elastic lamina. If you ever saw an internal elastic lamina, never think twice. That's definitely an artery. Test. Now where tests were so good. What is that? That's an aorta. Why? Because we have several elastic fibers, and it's seen with Orsine. I'm not really convinced, but when I saw the model answer, it was Orsine, and I wasn't convinced. But anyways, I was convinced that it was Eocene because it's pink, and the elastic fibers are determined by Eocene to be pink or brown by Orsine. And I know what you're thinking. You want to say Eocene because the color is pink, but maybe there's a problem in the lightning, and they know better, so it's Orsine. Okay, so that's basically the tunica intima. I'm putting brown not for you to be sad. Um, consider it brown. Maybe there's a problem in the food or something. That's the tunica intima. That's the media, has a lot of elastic fibers. And down here, there's adventitia. Even the base of Azorum is prominent. The layers 1, 2, 3, tunica intima, media, adventitia, and it's stained by Orsine. See? I have no genuine idea why is it Orsine, but any stain he asks you about the aorta, just say it's Orsine. Okay, what is that? That's the aorta. There's several elastic fibers. Okay, that's the adventitia, and here's the base of Vazorum. Okay, and here is the tunica intima or the endothelium. Now questions, what are they? Identify the structure, aorta. Mention one visible feature for identification, several elastic fibers. Blue line marks, where's the blue line? That's the tunica media. While the green one marks the tunica adventitia. Yellow arrow, where's the yellow arrow, dude? Oh, that's the tunica intima, and the black one sees the vasa vasorum, identifies the vasa vasorum. What is that? That's brown. That's pure brown, and you can easily identify it. There's several elastic fibers above each other, and that one is the tunica intima, media, adventitia. Now it's easy, okay? So I'm gonna say quickly: intima, media, adventitia. A lot of elastic fibers. That no other questions. Let me see. No, no, that one. I want to see. Identify the structure, aorta. The section is stained with Orsine because it's brown. So we want to visualize the elastic fibers. Where's the yellow arrow? Oh, that's the tunica intima or the endothelium, doesn't matter. The layer marked with a blue line. Where's the blue line? Tunica media. The red arrow. Where's the red arrow? Oh, these are the elastic fibers. See? We're good. No, we can see two things. So if you want to know, is that a vein or artery, just look here. There's an internal elastic membrane. There's not. Huge adventitia. So that's the vein. And that's an artery. Let me see. Where's the questions? Give A one visible feature. A, internal elastic lamina. B, a huge tunica adventitia and a wide lumen. What is that? Medium-sized artery. How do we know? Because I'm not going to think about it, and if I saw the internal elastic membrane, we're definitely a medium-sized artery, and that's the tunica media, and that's the adventitia. You're here telling me about, yeah, that's the tunica, the internal elastic lamina, and that's the smooth muscle, I guess. Yeah, that's the nucleus. You see here, it's pointing onto a nucleus. And here it's pointing into the lamina itself. So what are the questions now? Identify the structure, be specific. No, it's the same thing. That's not the nucleus. Oh, that's another branch of the internal elastic lamina. Okay, I was trying to be smart. Identify the structure, medium-sized artery. Identify the structure at the tip of the arrow, internal elastic lamina. Identify 1 and 2. Tunica 1 is tunica media, 2 tunica adventitia. Why isn't it going? That's a medium-sized vein because it doesn't have an internal elastic lamina, and it has a huge tunica adventitia and a very wide lumen. See that? So that's a medium-sized vein. So that one is the black one is the tunica media, the yellow one is the tunica adventitia, and here's the tunica intima or the endothelium. Let me see the questions. Define the structure, medium-sized vein. Give one visible feature for identification, a huge lumen. The layer marked by the black line. Where's the black line? Oh, that's the tunica media, and the yellow line is definitely the tunica adventitia. Okay, what's that? A medium-sized artery. What's that? The internal elastic lamina. Why? How do we know? Of course, the internal elastic lamina. That's a nucleus. Okay. By the way, but who's here asking about the this is the tunica intima or the endothelium. But I really like when he's pointing into the nucleus. I want to say that's a nucleus. But anyway, that's the tunica intima. That's the internal elastic lamina, and this is the tunica media, and these are the elastic fibers. Okay, and here there's the nucleus of a smooth muscle, as you can see here, and here that's the adventitia, and I think we're good. Now let's see the questions. Dissection in a medium-sized artery. Mention one visible feature is the internal elastic lamina. Identify the layer marked by the black line. Oh, that's the tunica intima or the endothelium. To identify the black, the yellow, green, and the blue arrows. Yellow, green. I want to go that way. Yellow, green, and blue. Yellow, the internal elastic lamina. Green, that's the nucleus of a smooth muscle. Blue, these are the elastic fibers. And what else? A black, that's the tunica intima. The black is the tunica intima. Oh, there's a black line that I didn't see. The black line traverses the tunica media. The black arrow basically gives on to the tunica intima. Okay, so that's the tunica intima. That's the tunica media. I'm sorry, I didn't see the black line. Okay, I'm having a lot of things and I'm recording at that time, so I'm sorry. So that's the tunica media, and that's the tunica intima. I'm sorry, I didn't notice that he's asking about the arrow. Tunica media, tunica intima, internal elastic lamina. These are the elastic fibers, and this is the smooth muscle or the smooth muscle nucleus. So it's artery, internal elastic lamina, tunica media. We're done. If we see an internal elastic lamina, we're an artery, and basically that's the internal elastic lamina. Layer 2, where's layer 2? It's definitely the adventitia. The black and blue arrows are the black one. The black one shows the external elastic lamina, because there are two laminae, and that one is the internal elastic lamina, respectively. Labels. Okay, what's that? That's the aorta. We have a lot of elastic fibers, as you can see here, and we genuinely have here, that's the tunica intima as endothelium, as you can see here, and subendothelium. So endothelium, subendothelium, that's the tunica intima. Here you can see the connective tissue. That's the loose CT. These are the elastic fibers, and this is a smooth muscle. Okay, so again, from down to up, that's a loose connective tissue. These are the elastic fibers. That's the vasa vasorum. That's the loose connective tissue here. These are the elastic fibers, and that's the smooth muscle. I'm gonna go up here. That's the smooth muscle. These are the elastic fibers. I just mentioned that. And when we go to the tunica intima, we have subendothelium and endothelium. What is that? Oh, that's a medium-sized artery. How do I know? Oh, that's the internal elastic lamina. So tunica intima, there's endothelium, subendothelium, and internal elastic lamina. Okay, so endothelium, subendothelium, internal elastic lamina. That's the smooth muscles, and these are some elastic fibers. Okay, down here, there's a loose connective tissue, and of course, any connective tissue that is here is loose. Okay, and here that's a blood vessel to make the vasa vasorum. Go. What is that? A vein? Because there's no internal elastic lamina and a huge tunica adventitia. That's the tunica adventitia, has loose CT. Here that's the smooth muscles of the tunica media. It's not like really a lot like the other, and these are some elastic fibers. Okay, and that's the endothelium, subendothelium. Subendothelium has loose connective tissue. And now we're done with the vascular system. I hope that was beneficial. Best of luck. This is Salma with you.